This is part two. I started off talking about a young lady who got killed by her boyfriend. Her name was Jasmine Martinez. I couldn't pronounce her boyfriend's name. He was 37, she was 29. So, shifting gears to talk about intimate partner violence in communication and how we aren't raising our children right, which will be the bulk of this video. So, in the videos I deleted, I really did a deep dive into this. I'm not going to do that here because you need to know that much more about my personality than you already have. And for other reasons, it wasn't appropriate for me to put on there, mostly because I started running off at the mouth about everything that was not in the topic. So let's talk about communication in relationships. Let's talk about truth. Let's talk about knowing how to break up with people and letting them down and telling them the truth on why their relationships are over. This young lady's relationship was clearly over for her. It wasn't over for him. There was a lack of communication somewhere, which is what led him to going to blow her head off. Alright? I couldn't put that any nicer, so I'm sorry about that. These videos are definitely not for children. We as people tend to think that when we give life to another small human being, that we are going to raise them right and they are going to know right from wrong and we are going to teach them how to be productive members of society. Apparently in a lot of these cases where this happens, the blame is placed solely everywhere except for on the trigger man and on the victim. Yes, I said on the victim. No, I'm not trying to really do the victim blaming thing. But there will be some victim blaming in here because it is a known fact that most women will look me dead in the face and go with someone who's going to treat them like shit. Where I wasn't raised to treat women like shit, which is why I'm single. A lot of women will look at me like, I don't want you because you're too nice. I don't want you because you treat me very well. I don't want you because you treat me the way a woman should be treated. It wouldn't hurt if you had a little bit more money, but you treat me very well. Girls don't like that. Girls like cars and money. That's not just a fact. It's also a song. But it's also how women get into these situations. And it's not all women, but it's a majority versus the minority. But most of the time, the women who should have been with you, they go off with some other asshole, get pregnant, that guy leaves them, and then they finally want to come to you. So they got like 4 or 5 children by some other asshole that don't have nothing to do with his kids, and then they want to come to you, the grown man who they should have been with in the first place, and then they expect you to either take care of their kids plus them and some other shit. And it happens all the time. You women just aren't really aware that you're doing that shit. But that's not your fault. It's because of how we are being raised. Now, as a man, I can tell you I have not had one uncle who has not told me about going to have sex and get as much sex as you can. And, you know, they have different ways of saying it because some of my uncles, like the ones that served, depending on which branch they served in, have said, you're going to go get that chick, that chick, that chick, and you're not going to call them. You're just going to hit that ass and you're going to go. That has never worked out for me because I've always been the relationship kind of guy. Then I have at least one uncle who served in the same branch of military I served in, where it's more like, yo, if you're going to get a girl, get into a relationship. I've always taken his advice because I've always wanted to be in that perfect relationship. Sadly to say, I've learned that perfect relationships don't exactly exist perfectly. Even in a perfect relationship, you will have a tiff here and there. So it happens, you know, relationships take work. Now, to stay on track on why I brought up relationships, and that was the simple fact that this couple were in a relationship, and the relationship went to hell really, really quickly. And most of that is due to the fact that this guy probably was not raised properly, that when the woman breaks up with you, you're supposed to let it go. And he was more on the, if I can't have her, no one can have her. Not the next guy, not her family, nobody. Which is probably why the young lady lost her life. So let's pump the brakes right there. 20% of you women know a man just like that. I'm not going to say that I'm not like that. But I am going to say that I'm a fighter. And I will fight for my love. And though I will never strike a woman unless it's in the movie script, I will never really raise my voice at a woman to make my point. and I never have. I've probably raised my voice at a girlfriend one time, and that was because she brought her new boyfriend to my job. So outside of that, I think I was well within my rights then. But most of the time, when it comes to relationships, the roles are basically reversed. I'm more like the bitch in the relationship and a yes man, and the woman's generally the dominant force. Happy wife, happy life. That's just always how I've been. It's not that I'm a pussy. It's just that, I like women. And I don't have a problem with a woman with a strong ego. But every now and again, she may need her ego checked. And I'm one of them people like, I give you enough rope to hang yourself. And when you realize you're wrong, I'm hoping that you're woman enough to come back and apologize, Because there's no need for me to point out your flaws. You already know your flaws. There's no need for me to do that. You know what keeps you right or wrong. I know my flaws. My flaws, one, I'm too damn honest. And that has been a problem. I'm an honest man. And, if I tell you you look good to me, I'm not saying that because you don't look good to me. I'm saying it because, one, I'm blessed to have you. Two, you really fucking look good to me. Now, why am I going to lie to you? Even if you got a zit, you'll still look good to me because I love you for you. They give a fine frack about your zits. We all get them. I didn't have that many in high school. I got good genetics. Anyway, we as society are not teaching our little boys and girls how to date and break up amicably with each other. And 9 times out of 10, this is what leads to our little boys killing our little girls, because our little girls don't know how to break up with the boy amicably, and our little boys don't know how to accept it. But then you got the same scenario where the little boy wants to date his girlfriend and 3 or 4 other chicks. Now, before you stop and start saying things, let me pump this out to you real quick, because when I had a girlfriend, it was like girls go out of their way to break me up with my girlfriend. And I'm a loyal son bitch. No, I'm not going to do that. And I would tell my girl, say, look, this girl's hitting on me, she probably let her know we're together so that this stuff won't keep happening. And my girl would never do that. She just thought I was full of shit. It was like, okay, well, believe what you want. And the thing with that is, and I say this lovingly to women, a lot of you women will purposely break somebody up and then want nothing to do with them, at all. I'm not a cheater because I'm not exactly a beautiful man, so I know I'm not trying to put too much more work into once I get a girl, that's the girl. That's it. I'm not going to go out and cheat on her because, like I said, I'm not a very beautiful man. I'm good with my looks. I once burnt off my face, so I'm good with what I have. But, I'm not going to go, I'm going to look, but I'm not going to touch. But there are women out here who will see a woman happy and decide, I'm going to break that up. And it's mostly because of they can't find someone where they don't want someone, so they want to be angry with the woman that has it. And they will do what they can to destroy it. Women are women's own worst enemy. Believe it when I tell you that. It's no bullshit behind it. Now, men, we ain't the same way. If I know you got a boyfriend, I'm backing the fuck off. But if you break up or have a weak moment and I'm that lucky bastard that's there, that's not my fault. No, that's his fault for not being a real man and your fault for being weak. But I'm actually okay with that. Now, the thing on that is, though, I'm also willing to take the consequences of this dude coming to try to beat my ass. And when that happens, he should also know that I am a martial artist and I'm not afraid to use the stuff that I've been taught. Now, if he catch me sleeping, like if I'm sleeping in his bed, yeah, I probably deserve to die right there. But if he catch me sleeping somewhere out in the alley somewhere, or he sees me walking and asks me who I am, and he sucker punches me and we get to rumbling, I probably had it coming. But I'm not going out without a fight. But that's how shit happens, by not having communication with your significant other. That is the most important thing in a relationship. Honesty, communication, and trust. Those 3 things are all the first thing that you need to establish in your relationship. And then we raise these young kids to, specifically us men, we raise these young men, go get that ass, go get that ass, go get that ass. And if there's any men out here that aren't like super religious, then you've been there. if you're like super religious, because I don't know a lot of religions, but I do know like Catholics and Mormons and certain Christians, they don't play that shit. They don't raise their kids to be perverts and shit like that. Some of them don't even let their kids take sex ed. So that's a thing. But a lot of people, the majority versus the minority, when it comes to men, they want their sons to be straight. They raise them straight and they tell them, you're going to go get that ass, you're going to get that ass, you're going to get that ass, and you're going to make sure that they say yes. Because if they say no, your ass is going to be in trouble. So if they say yes, do your best. If they say no, it's time to go. Those are quotes. Those are things that I've been taught all my life about getting with women. Now, on the same end, you got young women telling other women two negatives. First, marry this motherfucker for money. Take him for everything he got. Second, get pregnant by this motherfucker and he'll stay with you forever. That's a big negative. Who's raising our children? If it didn't work for you getting pregnant, the last damn thing you should do is let your daughter be talked into getting pregnant. You know, you gotta teach them. You gotta teach them. No, if Maury's still alive when you have kids, send their ass to Maury because he'll let them know. Look, I'm gonna put you in this room for 24 hours or 48 hours with this electronic baby, and you're gonna have to take care of it. Right then and there, you know, most of the time the kid's gonna be like, nah, you know, sex is good and everything, but we ain't ready for no kid at 15 and 16 years old. You're not. You're just starting your fucking life. Go live it. Have fun. Do the things I didn't get to do because my siblings were having babies, so I had to take care of their babies. You know, do the right thing. And more importantly, every time I make a video about that, I dump a fuck ton of Luckies on bed. These things save lives. They save unwanted lives, and they save lives of unexperienced teenagers who shouldn't be messing around with sex without them to begin with. Which is why sex ed should be a full-on course and not just a 1 to 2 week session in school. And when I say school, I mean from probably the 5th grade when your body starts changing, and all the way from the 5th grade to like maybe the 6th or the 7th grade, there should be a mandatory sex ed class so you can prevent sexually transmitted diseases, so you can prevent unwanted pregnancies, so that you can keep kids as kids. Now, to the main topic. You know, a lot of us have not been raised properly with our relationships. A lot of us want to be in more than one relationship, but then you have that main squeeze that you're like, if somebody else touches her, I'm going to blow them away, but I'm out cheating with every chick I can find. That's not how you raise a son. And on the flip side of that, you have a daughter. She's got 6 kids. She's like 20 years old. Somebody failed you. You know, you don't need 6 kids at the time by you're 20 years old. Now I know things happen. Some people are raped and forced to have babies because in a state not too far from here, they just announced that no abortions will be allowed because even in cases of rape, they're going to force these young ladies to have these babies. I made a video about it. I don't remember the state, but a senator, a female, which really fucked me up because I would have expected some dumb shit like that from a man, but from a female to fuck other females over by saying if you get raped, you can't have an abortion. I'm sorry, I don't use this term for women lightly. I really don't use it at all, but that bitch is crazy. And see, there's a thing about shit like that when it happens. See, if it doesn't happen, if somebody like does something to one of her children, she'll break the law then. She'll bend the law if one of her 16-year-old grandkids gets raped or something. She'll be like, nah, I can't have this law in effect because I don't want to ruin my 16-year-old grandchild's life, but I want to fuck everybody else over. You know? And this is the thing, because this happened in Virginia. This is how we had that speeding thing revoked, because everybody coming up and down the northern or the eastern seaboard or all the way down the pipeline from Maine all the way to Florida could run 85 through Virginia. But if you lived in Virginia, anywhere in Virginia, and you did 80, 85, you got a ticket. And not only did you get a ticket, you got the book thrown at your ass. And the reason why that shit got shut down was because the people who wrote the law, their kids were the only ones getting caught. And so what did they do? They had a petition. They signed the petition. They stopped that fucking law. The law got canned. It got canned real quick. And this is going back to why when you're raising your children, you do not tell your son that if he's with a girl and she no longer wants him, that he can't go saying, if I can't have you, nobody else can have you. And then he kills the girl. And on the same side, you can't tell your daughters, get pregnant by this bastard and he'll stay with you forever. Don't lie to your kid like that. Tell them to practice safe sex, or better yet, don't have sex at all. Masturbation is free. And nowadays, it's really not shameful. So, I want to end this video saluting Miss Jasmine Martinez and saying a prayer for her family. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For you are the power, the glory, and the light forever and ever. Amen. I hope you guys have learned something in this video about domestic violence, about how we raise our children, and how, more importantly, we see the world for what it is and not for what the world is make-believe to be. There are a lot of people out here who are raising their sons wrong. And there are not enough men in their daughters' lives to make them love themselves enough to not get knocked up by these dumbass boys, to make them not realize how special they are because they are girls, and the men have to step up for their daughters, or they're going to be screwed, and not just figuratively. I'm James Williams Jr., Come for Habit number 2. Be seeing you.